Hi, my name is Will Nicholson, and I did my project on Shutter Island. Some background. The main character's name is Teddy Daniels, who is a U.S. Marshal who was assigned to go find a missing patient at an insane asylum. He also has his own agenda, however, as he's trying to find a patient called Andrew Latus, who was responsible for killing his wife, Dolores. This movie takes place on Shutter Island, which is home to Ashcliff Hospital for the criminally insane. And it's important to understand the isolation so you can feel what the prisoners feel. The big plot twist at the end of this movie is that the audience learns that Andrew Latus was actually Teddy all along. Andrew killed his wife Dolores after she killed their children. Dolores suffered from schizophrenia, which Andrew never took seriously and ended up developing the same thing. Andrew has schizophrenia, which is a psychiatric condition where a person has delusional thoughts but can't recognize reality. This diagnosis of schizophrenia, which is characterized by the presence of two or more of the following symptoms: delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, grossly disorganized or chaotic behavior. I think the role of culture in this is schizophrenia may not be diagnosed in every culture because of spiritual or stigma reasons. Some religions believe that hallucinations that occur with schizophrenia are actually spiritual or supernatural phenomena, whereas stigma in some cultures there may be greater reluctance to acknowledge or discuss mental health issues. I think the evidence to this is delusion. He has delusions, which are defined as a mixed false belief that is not consistent with the individual's cultural background and cannot be explained by their intelligence level or general knowledge. Throughout the story, he believes he is a U.S. Marshal. He is assigned to go find this missing person, despite overwhelming evidence. And delusion is a very common symptom of schizophrenia. And then the other one is hallucinations, which are defined as perceptual experiences that occur without external stimuli. He has these. He has auditorial and visual hallucinations about his wife, who he hears her voice, and has vivid visual hallucinations where he sees her in various situations, which contribute to his distress throughout the story. Some signs that he didn't show, however, were disorganized speech, which can manifest in several ways: losing of associations, derailment, incoherence, stuff like that. Throughout the story, he does exhibit delusions and hallucinations, but his speech and behavior generally maintain coherence and organization. Disorganized speech typically involves incoherent or tangible speech patterns, but he doesn't seem to portray these in the narrative. So some treatment, I think cognitive therapy would have allowed Andrew Latus to heal based on two ideas. Those are that it would have challenged his delusional beliefs, and that it would have allowed him to have some coping mechanisms. By examining the evidence for and against his delusions, Andrew could have learned to recognize when his thoughts were distorted and develop more balanced and rational perspectives. He also could have learned some coping mechanisms that would have helped him when his delusions or hallucinations were triggered. Overall, I think the coping theory or cognitive therapy could have provided Andrew with valuable tools and strategies to maintain his symptoms. The other one is medication, which also has two uses: reducing symptoms and reducing relapse. It can reduce symptoms by targeting those imbalances in the brain, and it can reduce relapse by maintaining stable levels of medication. Andrew can reduce the risk of experiencing future outbursts of his symptoms and maintain long-term symptom management. Some ethical concerns: if Andrew is not adequately prepared or supported in therapy, his delusions could lead to increased anxiety. Therefore, careful consideration must be given to the ethical principles of cognitive therapy. A possible barrier is he may not be all in on cognitive therapy, and if he is resistant or reluctant to engage with the therapeutic process due to his delusional beliefs, he may perceive cognitive therapy as a threat to his identity or worldview. So portrayal, I think that the movie did a pretty good job depicting how a schizophrenic acts in their everyday lives. I think they did a really good job of portraying the delusions and hallucinations. However, I don't think they did a very good job at portraying the actual mobility that schizophrenia people have. I think the portrayal of disorders in film can shape perceptions and stereotypes surrounding mental health conditions. That can be dangerous if they are portrayed inaccurately, but when done correct, they can have a positive portrayal. And this is my works cited.